Theory of constraints, TOC, is providing answers to just three fundamental questions. The first question is, what to change? Why is it such an important question? It is so important because we naively think that we know the answer. Just ask anybody in your organization what to change, and you will find out to what extent people are real experts in bitching and moaning. And every one of these gripes is a suggestion to what to change. Do we know how to answer this question? Just think of it in the following way. What am I talking about? Look, suppose that each circle is a circle that tells you the area in which a person really knows intimately the details. Let's suppose that each circle is a work center or even a department. And then the judgment is according to what? According to the knowledge of what intimately goes in and what will be the impact if we correct it. But what we have to bear in mind is that actually the situation is that the organization, the performance of the organization is depending not just on the performance of one link. We have to work through synchronized efforts of all the links. Now what happens? A person has intimate knowledge of one link, but he doesn't know the others. And if we are talking about a person that does see the whole chain, he doesn't have the intimate knowledge of each link and what really goes on in terms of exactly what is the problem. Don't you realize that we need a focusing mechanism that will tell us what is the impact of the problem on the overall performance of the company? Where is such a focusing mechanism? TOC, Theory of Constraints, says there is a way to answer it very, very quickly. But this providing that we know that the performance of the company is depending on the leverage points, on the constraints. The constraints are the one that dictates the performance of the whole company. If we identify the constraints, now we can judge what is the impact of each problem, how much it affects the exploitation of the constraints, how much it disturbs the subordination, to what extent it's preventing the elevation of the constraint. That's what gives us the ability to judge which problem is more important than the other in terms of its priority to fix it. Even when we look on conventional problems, on process problems, and that's where the focus of almost all the process of ongoing improvement today is aimed, what impact will we get if we add the focusing mechanism? In other words, right now what we do is we ask everybody, we get the whole list of the things that has to be corrected, and then we use the people who are above to tell us, based on their intuition and experience, which problems are more important than the other, and we are doing the priority list, and according to that, we start to fix the problems. What is the difference if we will use the theory of constraints methods and mechanisms in order to give us the priority of what should be changed? Right now, I think that we can answer it quite well, because there is a large company that have addressed this problem and went through all the trouble of answering almost scientifically this question. The company is SCI. This is a company of over $10 billion in electronic assembly. And what they've done is they took all their plants in the United States, 21 plants, and put 4 of them on Lean and 11 of them on Six Sigma, doing what we just said. Let's use our best intuition, our best knowledge in order to prioritize the problems, and let's go and fix them. But they took another 6 plants where they've used theory of constraints in order to prioritize the problems, in order to say which problem should be fixed. In other words, a focusing. And they continue to use Lean and Six Sigma methods in order to fix these problems. And they release their results. And what they have published in 2005 is that they've got results from all the plants. All the plants have improved. But when they're looking on the pie of the cost savings, it turned out that the 4 plants that were on Lean have contributed 4% of the cost savings, which means 1% per plant. The 11 plants that were on Six Sigma have contributed 7% of the cost savings, which actually means less than 1% per plant. The 6 plants that were on TOC focusing, still using Lean and Six Sigma in order to fix the problems, have contributed 89% of the cost savings, which means more than 15% per plant. Which means the focusing alone, only the focusing, the impact of it, is increasing the impact of the efforts by 1,500%. That is how important it is to be able to answer the question, what to change.